for May 21st. And we are going to start with Department of Social Services.
Good morning, everyone. I just have three quick resolution requests and a fiscal request. The first item is to contract with Catholic Charities for the rental supplement program, not to exceed $125,940. This is a funding we receive and we just contract with them to provide this program.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers, absent.
Okay, that motion passes.
Okay, second item is to contract with Opportunities for Otsego for case management services. This is pending the state budget. This would be for June 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2027. That 165 is hopefully coming from the state budget to provide these case management services.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion?
I don't like the hopefully part.
Well, I
I
mean,
know.
we haven't passed the budget, so.
Very good. So we're.
Yeah, if we don't get it, we wouldn't do it.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, anything else? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers, absent.
Okay, that motion passes.
Okay, and the last one is to amend a resolution with our contract with Opportunities for Otsego for the shelter cost. Two of the single occupant rooms, they needed to increase the price. So we just would like to amend last month's resolution request to change those two amounts.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini, Marietta, absent, Powers, absent.
That motion passes.
Okay, and the last item is a budget modification for the rental supplement program that we received, the $125,940.
Go move. Second.
Question or discussion on the budget on? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers, absent.
Okay, that motion passes.
Okay, that's all I have for today.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks, have a good day.
You. Next. County Attorney's Office.
I'm virtual today.
Oh, hi Denise. I was looking in the back for Monica and then I heard your voice up front. Okay.
We'll be in it a little bit. So I emailed last night the two policies that I have before you today. And one of them is the policy that we had last month, and that was the contracts policy. So after we had brought it before you and that policy was approved by you all, we came up with another addition to it. And I think I even discussed during the last admin that there may be some changes. So we thought before we brought it to the full board, let's bring this one other change to you. And that was having the intermunicipal agreements come before the parent committee. Under the current policy, those agreements are not required to come before the parent committee, but we think that the parent committee should, understand what the expectations are, and then that's at a minimum, and then the parent committee can actually refer that on if they wish to do so. So any contracts that the county has with the federal, state, or other local municipalities would come before the parent committee.
So this does not interfere at all with individually elected offices?
Can you elaborate or give me an example?
A treasurer, we have a sheriff, we have a clerk, we have a district attorney.
So if they're committing the county to something, it would come before the parent committee.
So committing the county financially or any other way?
Any other way. Yeah, any other way. Because so many of these contracts, there's not like an obvious financial burden or a commitment. However, we are committing county resources many times. So in light of that, we think it would be prudent for it to come to the parent committee to.
All right, I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just, and I shouldn't say this. I'm not gonna be here, so I won't have to deal with it, right? But what I'm saying is, let's say the resources are totally out of that office's resources and under their control. Are we running into a state constitutional, problem there?
Well, I don't believe so because that's how
That's all I'm asking.
that's how all the contracts essentially are. Like if this is essentially county money that's being used, then or any sort of county resource is being used, then the county has a say in that.
Okay,
So there could be a potential exposure of the county to any kind of risk or any kind of expectation. We'd want to be able to make sure we had everything we needed in place to cover it, I
Yeah,
guess.
it gives you an opportunity to ask questions, and it gives the opportunity of the department head who is has a desire to enter into that agreement to discuss that with you, answer any questions, those kinds of things. It's an opportunity for you all to have some oversight.
And I think that we did when, for example, the county clerk was doing the mobile DMVs, like with the town of Hartwick.
True.
And
Yeah.
she did
That's true.
come and we did sign an IMA
Yeah.
with those towns. So
that's
there is a precedent.
Yes, we have historically done this, absolutely. But it just hasn't been codified, hasn't been written anywhere.
Yeah, I don't.
So do we want to make are you ready for us to move approval on this for today and then move it along to the full board for the June meeting?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Do we have any further questions or discussion on the contract policy? Okay, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Denise. I think it was, I saw that we put in the IT information that we talked about last time too, so, yeah.
And
Just,
the next policy was procedures and policies for the use of the county-owned facilities. So we made some changes to that. I know that was before you guys, or maybe perhaps before a committee, about the use policy and when different agencies want to use the county facilities. And so we've gone through that and made some changes. I emailed it to you last night. I believe there are paper copies if anyone would like a paper copy, but I can go through the changes that we've made. Or if you're not, if you don't want to vote on that today, we can wait until next month and you can review those changes. The changes are minor, most of them. The first change we made is we cleaned some of the language up, and then we made a change where if a brand new organization comes in, they have to give a 2-month notice and supply the information to Carol. But if it's an organization who already has an agreement on file, which means it's already been through the process, they need to give a 1-month notice only if there's a change in time or purpose because essentially they've already received approval. So if there's a change in their time or the purpose of what they're going to do, then they would need to give the 1-month notice because the agreement's on file. So that's one of the changes. That's number 3 in the new one. Number 8 in the new amended policy, we've included notifying the Meadows E911 director, or I believe it's emergency services director, I believe. Go ahead. Yeah, emergency services, because essentially the request is to use that building and that space. So we wanted to include the director in that to make sure that that person's aware of what's going on in that building as well. Number 9, we cleaned up the language but essentially it's the same thing. We just put a couple extra commas, parentheses, things like that. Number 10 is the big one, which is the fees, and that's what we had discussed prior. And previously, the fees were $100 for 3 hours and $50 for every additional hour after that. We've increased the fees to $150 for 3 hours and $75 for an additional hour after that. We've also limited the hours of operation. So if it's between the hours of 8:30 to 4:30, we don't need to get extra staff. So, but if it's outside of those hours, essentially the county has to provide staff to either unlock, open, clean, all of those things. So we've narrowed the hours and we've increased the price on that one.
I have an issue with that. I don't think $150 is enough. I talked to the sheriff. He said security gonna run you anywhere between $300-400 to have security in them buildings after hours. So I really don't think I don't think the county taxpayers should be paying extra money for some organization to have a meeting at night or something. That's all.
And we are obviously, we propose these numbers, but we will change whatever as far as whatever you agree on for voting.
Well, do we actually ever provide a sheriff there for security?
We have to have security for the building if somebody's in here. And
Well, that would be a staff member.
But if it was the courthouse, what would we,
Oh,
what
courthouse
would we
might be different.
have?
And but the fees are for weekends and after hours.
I mean, if we have say a class after hours down
At the Meadows,
at
like,
the Meadows,
yeah.
there's never a deputy there.
well,
And-
it's more or less the courthouse.
So you'd want to specifically state that for the courthouse, I would say.
So what we
Or-
can do is, what we did was we took a prior policy where when the county, if someone wants to video film, and for that policy, we designate specific hourly wages for if you need a sheriff car, if you need, and so we took those and we kind of estimated. That's how we came up with the 150 and the 75, and we added a cleaning fee for after hours as well. But I do see your point where we may need a sheriff deputy there if it is, for security purposes for the court. So we could designate in the draft what, for the Meadows building, it's this fee for the, and we do that, but I can change the court office one to include the amount we would pay for a deputy. And I could, whatever you propose, I can put it in there.
I think the courthouse and buildings such as that are a must because the security is not necessarily for that event. It's to prevent somebody from, example, bringing in a weapon and hiding it somewhere.
Well, they could do that in any building now, as far as that goes. I mean, they could do that in the Meadows if they
Right.
wanted to.
That's true.
So
That's
are we thinking that like all of our buildings have the magnetometers now? So for after hours events, would people need to go through them? I know that like down at the Meadows, when they did the training for municipal training the other night, we just came in the back door and there was not security on premises. So I just wonder how
Well, see, those doors, there's still potential there. But those doors, you can't go out and go into the rest of the building because of those doors are
Right.
locked.
yes, and you had to sign in and you were pre-registered, so there were measures in place to know who was there and who was coming in. So I just am wondering, like, how do we carve it out so that we have people who need security pay for security? That's basically what we want to say.
I can definitely put a line in there that says just that, like if your request requires a sheriff deputy, the fees will be higher, and I can, maneuver.
if it's gonna cost them money, they're not gonna request one. They're just gonna wanna use the building.
Well, no, requires a deputy by county
Fault.
rules and regulations.
I would think the annex, that being a court.
Oh, yeah,
Any,
absolutely.
So
And
if
we can
someone,
determine that during the application process. They indicate what they need, what they're using the building for. It goes to Carol, and goes before, in front of the, it goes in front of PSLA, I believe, right, Carol? Or
This
no,
all,
no, it goes before Public Works.
why couldn't you just put in there the fee's $150? If you need security guards, when it's gonna be extra?
it's already in number 10.
Oh, is it?
Says additional fees may also be charged for organization requests that may be out of the realm of ordinary, such as supplying security for meetings.
Oh,
there you
Do we
go.
want to put an amount in there?
so much an hour?
Well, I think
It
this
depends
way
who
it
you
leaves it
Yeah.
on a sliding scale that if 10 years from now they decide
Yeah.
they want to look
Yeah,
at it again,
but-
it may have already been increased year over year.
Right.
Just because it says it's subject to change, but
Do
not.
we
locked
actually
in.
ever charge that?
In the new,
Oh, it wasn't in the old one?
No, that was in the old one.
Fees in that one.
Did we ever charge for it?
That I'm aware of, maybe once. I'm not sure what the application says, but I would suggest that the application be more specific. Like, make them tell you what you want, what they want, and then we can tell, then you have all the information in front of Public Works. So do you need security? Maybe it says it on the application. I don't have that in front of me, but
So can you put the words as determined by the Public Works Committee?
Yep.
you know what I mean?
It was-
So
when they- when
all
they
requests
come
have to go through
commission,
Public
they find
Works.
what they need.
Yeah, and then
And
the
if
Public Works,
if we think they need security, we'll tell them they need security. It's not
Exactly.
cost you.
Okay.
We come up with that, I guess.
Mhm. Thanks, Karen.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know from a working standpoint how it gets put together. Okay. Any other policy and procedure?
So we're not voting on this one today. We're gonna make some few changes. and bring it
Yeah,
back.
we can bring it back. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
We could vote on it today if we wanted to, and Denise could just plug them all in and we could look at it as at the full board meeting in June. But it might be more, we may be more amenable to just having them all be made and then reviewing it again. With no, rush or no pressure to move ahead.
And the only change I have is changing as determined by Public Works, the committee, and that will be added to that line in number 10.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And
Thank
Do you
you,
want me
Denise.
to, yes, I'll bring this back next month?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
one other thing, is just a quick update on the purchasing policy. Which I know I was talked to you last month about bringing it before you this month. We're just not there yet. So we're still working out the details. And hopefully I'll have it for you next month.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
and that's all I have. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. All right. Rich, we are ready for you.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I got a few things for you here. All were approved by Public Works last week. Like to request a motion to approve the salt bid from Cargill for $85.74 per ton from our bid OTGOV-001 of 26 and authorize the superintendent to purchase salt for the life of the contract, June 3rd, 2026 through June 2nd, 2027, with the possibility of 3 one-year extensions.
So moved.
Any questions or discussion on the salt bid? Vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
all right,
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Next one, request a motion to approve the County Route 59 Bridge New York Bridge Replacement Construction bid from Vector for $3,551,506.18 from our bid OTGOV-001 26 and approve the necessary purchases out of D5112-522400. That's our Bridge New York line. And this is going to be from 3/24/26 to 11/19 of 27.
second,
Any questions or discussion on bridge? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Martini, Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Request a motion to extend resolution 8 of 2026 with CNS engineers for County Route 59 Bridge to 4/30 of 2028.
So moved.
Any questions or discussion? Okay, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes as well.
Request a motion to extend resolution 203 of 2025 for hot mix asphalt FOB and related materials and services from 5/19 of 26 to 5/18 of 27.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes.
Request a motion to extend resolution 379 of 2023 for GPI engineering for County Route 4 Bridge New York project to extend that through 4/30 of 2028.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Aye, Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that passes.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Okay. Director's office, Alan Ruffles.
I'm here.
Oh, hi,
I
Alan.
am getting there. I'm at the NISAT conference for the finance yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So that's why I'm here, not there. Okay. I'm gonna jump right into my agenda here. So the first thing that I had on my agenda there is the short-term rentals. I provided all of you with quotes that I don't want to share out in the open. And me being here, we'd have to review these in executive session so we can review them next month. This is not a pressing issue, but I just wanted you guys to have the quotes, and I just briefly wanted to explain what we're looking to do. So with occupancy tax, we are going to have to create, well, we do have a registry, but we're going to have to put in a certain format the Department of State would want, how we're going to be able to share it when Airbnb or VRBO eventually shares it. The two vendors that I have there are kind of, major players in the space. I've talked to both of them yesterday and some this morning. They can go online. People will be able to register everything for their occupancy tax online. We'll be able to see all their stuff online, communicate with them over email so they don't have to come in the office. They can make all their payments online. It just makes it easier for our constituents to register for bed tax, us to contact them and keep in communication with them. We can send them daily emails, updates, things like that. So I just wanted you guys to have that, and we'll discuss more next month when I'm in person. We can go into an executive session and discuss the quotes in length. Both of them have already gone through purchasing. Both of them are on contracts, and Dan Hammer said there's no issue with us choosing either one.
Great. Thanks, Alan.
Yep. So we'll talk about that next month in executive session. So the next thing there is Tyler Technologies time and attendance. We talked about it last month. I briefly talked about it at the board meeting, and I know this is something that the committee and the board want to do. There is a department head meeting on the 2nd of June where they wanted to give me to give a small presentation to all the department heads. That day, I actually have to do county director orientation with Office of Real Property at the state, but I will have somebody kind of give a brief overview to all the department heads. Is this something that the committee wants to move on today to approve and take for a resolution to officially start the time and attendance? If it was approved today and then we got a resolution at the June board meeting, we probably wouldn't even be able to start implementing until it's like October, November now.
do we want to move ahead on this, or do we want to have the opportunity for the department heads to get all of their questions asked and answered before we vote on it? Is there any, would that be something that we want to do? Or,
So if we approve this today and it goes before the board in the June meeting, do we have the opportunity to put the brakes on a little bit until all this is sorted out?
I think so. I think that if you guys, is Denise still there? Maybe Monica is usually in the back. I can't see, but I think procedurally, if you guys approve this today because they want to do it, and then let's say we meet June 2nd and department heads hate it, it's the worst thing ever, and we want another month to think about it. I think that you just wouldn't do the official resolution June 3rd. Is that correct, Monica, if you are in the back?
I mean, there's no reason not to just.
Monica is not in the back,
Oh,
but
sorry.
we could just, from previous experience, we know we can just pull resolutions and then they get pulled and don't get voted on if the parent committee chooses to withdraw them.
Yeah, we can
at
do
a
it right
certain-
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
So-
mean, my feeling is everyone's been wanting to move this forward, and departments don't seem against it. I think they just wanted more information on how it works. So, I mean, that might be the way to go to if the committee feels to approve it then, and then depending on how the department head meeting goes in the second, you can just yank it or keep
I'll
it
move
going.
to-
Yeah. I'll second that.
okay. I just want to make sure that they're, everyone and the department heads know, Alan, that they can reach out to you, your office or Penny's office and have discussion on this at any time. Is that, or like
Yep.
they could appointment to talk about it.
Yep, yeah, we're always there.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or discussion on the time and attendance? We will go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta absent, Powers.
Aye.
All right. So moving ahead with that.
Awesome. So I just wanted to give everyone an update on our auction parcels since there's about 1 month left to pay. We did all the requirements. We sent everything out. We also, as you know, we send an individual server to go to every single house. It's something that the county pays for actually to try to get people to, essentially say, hey, like pay. I got the results back last week. So, our person visited 166 properties on the county's behalf. Delivered every letter that was possible, and looks like based on his things, he was able to determine and talk to people at about 81 of the properties that they are occupied. The other 80 are either unoccupied, vacant, or just, yeah. Now, these are just only the land ones, like I said, or only the ones with a house. That's not how many parcels we have to go to the whole auction. That's just ones that were houses that we are, wanted to see. So I just wanted everyone to have that update.
Thanks, Alan. That's good to know. And so about half of them, they didn't think they were occupied by
Yep.
anyone, or they didn't see a person to interact with.
Yep. And just something that I just learned here a half hour ago that I just want to mention about the auction that I think this committee should just be aware of is we used to do the repurchase agreement. We'd foreclose June 30th. Auction signs would go out on the lawns, and then we'd give the month of July for repurchase agreement. We'd have to charge 10% to cover our fees for that, if we all remember. And then with this new Supreme Court case, that was deemed you couldn't do that anymore. Well, I just found out 20 minutes ago that they just passed a law, and now that is legal again. So it's too short to do it this time, but I think we should have this discussion for future auctions, because when that sign does go out on the property, we do get several calls. I think last time we had almost 30 people paying the repurchase time. So it'd just be another way to kind of, get more people to pay. And the nominal fee, that the 10% that we charged covered our costs. I mean, I found out that two counties charge a 35% buyback fee, and others charge 20% of the entire tax. Like, I was like, wow, 10% didn't sound too bad at all, just to cover our fees.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it is an expensive process.
Yeah,
and since they're getting it back, we can't deduct it from the value of the parcel because the parcel just went back to its rightful owner.
yep,
So we carried it along for them for 2 years at no.
3 years. Yep, 3 years to no.
Okay, yeah.
So I know,
Yes.
you know,
We
every
definitely wanna-
yeah, every year we have a discussion, then the board has to pass an official resolution. Like I said, it with the auction next month, it's too close. And I want to do a little more research because I just heard about it before I had to run up here. So I want to ask some of the attorneys down there first, just to make sure I understood everything correctly in the meeting. But I think it's something we should consider for future auctions.
If it's not too difficult, if you could provide us with a list of counties that do charge more and how much they charge.
Yeah, I'll go down there and I'll try to get as much as I can today since I already heard a whole bunch of them in there. So, and we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
So that was just kind of an update that I wanted to give everybody. The next thing, so I usually don't do this, and I actually got this report, and I got this from our health insurance, and I asked them to start sending this report to me quarterly. But just how our health insurance is doing, because it is roughly $14 million of our budget. It's more than our tax levy. So it was kind of just good to see the numbers, but briefly you can tell that our health insurance right now is running a little hot to what our budget was. Our claims are over where we had budgeted. That is what it is, but that's not running too bad. And there just the whole summary is on there. So I don't know if anyone had any questions on the summary. I just kind of looked at the main thing because I think overall we just want to see how good or bad or what's the projection that we might end at the end of the year. So I'm going to try to get this quarterly from them so that we can see exactly what's going on.
So Alan, just an FYI, unless you send a separate email to the admin committee, that was not in your original email with your agenda. So
Oh,
they probably don't know what you're talking about.
I am sorry. I thought I sent that in the email. I will send it to everyone after. It's just a 2-page overview of our health insurance. That is my fault. I thought I sent that.
No, I see everything else that you sent is on here, like the cash spend is on there.
Yep.
And all the sales tax info we did get, but I don't remember seeing a health insurance thing, but thank you.
Okay.
Carol.
I will send that so everybody has it. Thanks for to let me know, Carol. I'll send that right after this so that everybody has it, just so you can see an overall. But right now we're running the health insurances. We're spending more than kind of what we budgeted. There's roughly 4.5% more claims than what we budgeted for right now. So
Yeah, I don't see it in my packet either.
yeah, I will send that over right after this.
Carol, stop.
I'll go print you one.
No.
I guess my question, and this is not an answerable question, I guess.
Okay, we allow some unanswerable questions.
This is just a.
One per meeting.
Yeah. So this is mine for today. It's great that we have this information, but there's not a whole lot we can do about it, right?
No, this is just, I mean, we can't
So
tell
it's
our
just
employees to not go to the
FYI.
hospital. Yeah.
Okay.
We can think, well, maybe we're gonna be moving some contingency money over,
Right.
or if it's a continuing trend for year.
We're gonna have to budget for
let's-
this,
Let's,
but it's
budget.
not like an actionable thing.
No, I just wanted you guys to know, and I'm going to attach it so you guys can see it, but it's good to know, like I said, since it is such a major expenditure in our budget, just so you guys can kind of see like, hey, and you know, with the recent negotiations of the health insurance, I mean, that was a huge step in offering a super good health insurance plan and trying to keep costs low. So
Yeah.
that is a good thing. So we're trying to tackle it any way we can.
okay. How about the new account lines for building services? That was on your list
Yeah.
ahead.
I
just want you
yeah.
to-
That was my fault. I skipped over that. So we just, I heard that we have to start paying some bills for the new land, and we need to start get that going. So we have to make lines, and I just kind of have to, since I'm making the lines, I supposed to let my committee know that I'm creating some new account lines for, we're gonna do some utilities and things like that.
Okay, noted.
Okay.
Yeah. So that I just, like I said, making everybody aware so you guys don't think I'm forming these crazy lines that you guys are gonna see in future budgets and things
You've
like
been
that.
talking about so many, those topics already, so
Yeah.
it makes sense that we have to create a pathway to
Pay
make
all that
those.
stuff. Yep. Before I just get into my numbers real quick, I just want admin to know, and I know I've spoken with Representative Martini over emails and stuff. So opioid money, I know that we're starting to spend opioid money on things, which is good. However, my office hasn't been told or been aware that the funds are being spent, and I have to file with the federal government and the state government quarterly about every dollar of opioid money we spend. So I've been filing, we've been spending zero the whole time because no one ever said anything. And I just had to go re-amend some of our filings because I did find out last year we spent some of the money. So just if opioid money gets spent, if my office could just be aware so that I can do the proper filings, that's all.
Yeah, it was really more just we're figuring out this process as we're going through this process, so noted.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted kind of admin hears anything, just to make me aware. That's all. Because there's like, so we have like 7 or 8 buckets of opioid money. And when we're like, hey, we want to spend opioid money, I have to know which bucket that's coming from. Does it meet those approved requirements for that bucket? And then I have to file based on that bucket. So we want to spend $200,000, maybe not one bucket has $200,000. So we're going to take 50,000 from CVS. We're going to take 25,000 from Walgreens, 100,000 from Teva. Like I have to know all that so I can file that properly. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had on opioid stuff.
Okay.
This is Steve. Can I add a comment to that, please?
Yep.
Let's all, Caitlin Davy, our new budget analyst, is the one assigned to keep track of all this, and I think provide a source information for you, Alan. So hopefully I think she's been in contact with you, but she is getting up to speed on that. The central business office pays the invoice, and Department of Health does the contracting for all of this. So she's Caitlin, who I think maybe is in the room there. I can't see either. Should be our central point of contact for kind of organizing all this, because it's super distributed and kind of hard to keep track of.
Yep. And Caitlin and I probably spoke for 2 hours the other day. She's great. And we kind of have our own plan, or not our own plan, but we have a plan where we're going to touch base. I just wanted the committee to just be aware, but yeah, Caitlin's been great. And, we have a plan.
Great.
So, yep, that's it. Then you can just see the cash spend update there. So you can see where we ended 25 at. Our auditors just left our office last week. There are going to be some very minimal changes to this final thing, but this is kind of where we're going to end. Obviously, they'll give their auditors report to the board, July or August, once everything's been filed with the clearinghouse. But we have that. And then just all of my updates there, which are on the monthly memo that I sent out. So if anyone has any questions on that memo, more than happy to answer them. Or if you have questions later, feel free to call or email me anytime.
Hey, may I ask another question of Alan? Of course, I can't see the spreadsheet that you sent out. So, but do you know what our unassigned fund balance is post audit now?
The auditors are still going through those numbers. We have expenditures and revenues, and they're going to go through and put all of that together in the package for
Okay.
the board. I'm gonna say I mean, you can see the deficit, first in 24, then the deficit in 25 growing just a little bit. We're probably gonna be sitting somewhere 10 to 12 million, unassigned.
Okay.
So, but we'll see when they give that final audit report.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. And are there any questions on that whole update at all? Because if not, I'm just going to jump into a quick real property thing, unless there's anything else on the treasurer side.
I'm not seeing anything new on from us here. Will
Okay.
be, if anyone has any questions, we can reach out.
Yeah,
It's
anytime.
pretty comprehensive report, Alan. Thanks.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Thank you. The only thing I have for real property at this point is I know we've talked about this and all the technical stuff. Like I said, that's more a Joe and Levi and Tammy's office thing. But everyone in the state had to move from their old stuff into the ArcGIS, which messed up a lot of the tax mapping stuff. So we had to have NEGO come in and repair some of the tax maps to make them work with ArcGIS. So I'm just getting approval. I don't know. They gave me a quote and they are going to go in and fix some of our tax maps. It's going to cost $3,000. I have the quote somewhere in my emails. I'm trying to do everything on one computer. So I'm just trying to get approval to contract with them for phase 1 to fix the tax maps for $3,000. The money would come from my office. So my office brought in, as you remember, $11,146 for tax collection that has not been allocated or used because we did not have to hire anybody. So I'm hoping that we can use a small portion of that money to fix our tax maps and work with a parcel viewer that Levi has built for the ArcGIS migration.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent Powers.
Thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you. I'll get the transfer form up. I mean, that's less than 20,000, so I know that Steve can just sign it, but I just want everyone to be aware that I don't need contingency money or anything, that we already brought in the money and we've already received it and everything, so.
Great. Thank you, Alan.
Yep. Does anyone have any questions of me at all? Going from there?
Okay. Not seeing anyone's question, Alan.
Thank you all. I'll send that health insurance over to you guys, and I'm at the conference until tomorrow afternoon. So if anyone needs me, email me, call me, whatever.
Okay, I hope it's a good conference.
Been good so far. So thank you
Okay.
all.
Great, thanks.
Yep, we'll see you.
Okay. Thank you, Alan.
Bye.
All right. Hey, Victor.
Good morning. How are we?
Good, good. You have a new background.
Yeah, I don't know how to change that. That's a little beyond me,
Kind of like a halo behind your head.
right? I have one item today for emergency services, request to amend resolution number 225-20260506. This is regarding the deputy fire coordinator salaries. It should read from $1,691 to $3,000. Previous amount read incorrectly at $1,692. So it's just to clarify that amount.
So moved.
We have any questions on that? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur, Martini, Marietta, absent Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
All right, thank you. That's all I have today, unless you have something for me.
Anything for Victor? No, no. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Too. We will move on to probation. And here.
Well, let me see if he's.
Or. We're only. Oh, there you are, Dan. Hi. Oh, okay. Great.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, so I have one thing for admin committee. So we did the RFPs for security. We only got 2 bids. One was Axar, one was S&T. S&T came in about $74,000 less than Axar. So my proposal is go forward and continue with S&T. It's basically looking at 10% less. So S&T came in at $700,135.58. Axar came in at $774,605. So I'm looking to basically approve S&T's contract for the remainder of the year. Is going to be approximately $350,600.58, bringing the yearly amount to the $700,135.58.
Motion we go with that.
Any questions or discussion?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Yes.
Has ever been looked at that it would be cheaper or more expensive to have our own security system?
I know that before I took over, there was the thought of having the sheriff's department do it, but I know they put us for like special deputies and we just couldn't get it.
Can't get them.
I don't think we've ever done a look into how much it would cost for Otsego County to hire their own security guards at prevailing wage or a little bit more, so I don't have an answer on that. But again, like deputies, like I said.
Well, I don't mean deputy, but I mean have our own security. You know, there's a lot of retired, I don't know if there's a lot, but there's a retired police officers or whatever else. Or
That's what Akshar used. That's what
And that's
So-
Akshar, he came and presented to us. He told us that the majority of who he hires are retired law enforcement and military.
Yeah, so
That's
actually,
what I hired.
I
Yeah.
remember a conversation with him.
That's exactly what I hired.
So,
yeah, well, actually came that, but also S&T Security, also former police, like if you go Green County, most of them are former Green County sheriffs. It's just that when they put the application out here, we're not getting law enforcement applying up here. So that's one of the issues. I think a lot of your security companies try to go, but I think you're seeing less and less former law enforcement interested.
so actually, the people that are working for this company, do they live around here closer or are they coming a long distance to?
So for S&T Security, everybody's local. Actually, I can't say that. My honest opinion is with Akshar is they're probably gonna put things out, but I have a feeling they're gonna end up hiring the people we have anyway, because those are people who, when S&T Security put out the applications, that's who applied. So I mean, yeah, most people live around here. They try to hire local because they don't want them traveling, from Green County, where S&T is located, is over an hour away. They don't want them really traveling that much.
The other issue is if you have a retired law enforcement under the age of 65, they can work for a private firm with no restrictions on how much they make. If they work for the county directly,
They can only make.
they can only make $35,000.
And every time I go to the meadows, I know some of the people who are the security people. This one guy, oh, he's like, I know you have a pocket knife in your pocket, you have to take it out. So anyway, even though I show my badge, so I know that they're local people who know us for the most part.
Well, I'm just looking at the dollar amount more than anything. It would be cheaper or it wouldn't be cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is a study we can do. I don't have any problem with that. But I know that like if New York State has a prevailing wage, which securities have to be paid, security guards have to be paid. So if you take S&T Security, even with S&T Security, even at that cost, we're almost $1 above prevailing wage just to get the people.
Why, if we hired them, why do we have to pay security or prevailing wage? I know if you hire outside of people to come in here, you gotta pay for it. But why do we have to pay prevailing wage if they work for the county?
It's not gonna be prevailing wage, it's gonna be,
Well, that's what you
A
said.
mandated wage for
it's gonna be
security.
Union.
it's gonna be whatever Penny comes up with.
Yeah, and
That, I'm just,
the thing is that not only we have to pay wage, it's probably gonna be pretty comparable to make now, but now we're also paying their fringe benefits. And that's where I think you're gonna see a large cost. Play.
Well, it's worth looking into, I think.
Oh, I absolutely.
And my question is, this contract expires on December 31st, but does it proceed into the next calendar year?
So-
What are the terms of the
So
contract?
with the RFP, we have this year, and then if I read it right, we can extend the contract for 3 additional,
Oh,
once a
okay.
year for 3 additional terms.
Okay,
So, but at any time with 6-month notice, we can always get out of, either party can get out of the contract with 6-month notice. So if we want to look into the possibility of our own private or county-based security, and if we find that we can run it more efficiently, cheaper, with 6 months notice, we can tell. But I
So-
don't know if we'd be able to.
Actually, how many people do they actually provide for security for all the buildings?
So there's 3 in 242, there's 3 in the Meadows, but then for tiny homes, I want to say we're up to, between the hours, I want to say there's 4 or 5. So we're looking at 11.
Total for the whole,
Yes.
So that's 11 positions or 11,
So 11 people. So yeah, so 3 at the 3 at the Meadows in that building is always the 3. The 3 at the 242 is always those 3.
6.
Then, yeah, but then you have tiny homes, which we run. Basically, if you go starting Monday at 4:30 to 8:30 the next day, that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but starting Friday, they're covered from 4:30 at night to 8:30 Monday. And that's like 3 posts just by itself. So I believe.
Right, so that's what I'm trying to, so you're talking 9 posts.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna cover that with 11 positions.
Look, when I'm trying to remember all the names.
You have days off, you have vacation, you have sick time, you have.
I'm really getting
If somebody
confused.
takes a day off, S&T has a senior from there, they come and cover it. So it's still the same,
So what
so,
I'm saying is the county,
yes.
in order to
Oh,
cover
to cover, we need more people,
those posts,
yes,
you need, what is it, 3 or 5? Isn't it 5 positions to cover 1 post?
yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
tiny homes has security 24/7?
Tiny homes, so Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30, DSS covers it. Once DSS leaves at 4:30, that's when it's. So that's why it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 4:30 to 4:30 PM to 8:30 AM. But then starting Friday at 4:30, they have to test the coverage until 8:30.
for today?
Huh?
Are we good for today?
So we're talking a lot, 17 people altogether?
For the county, if we're looking at the county hiring, yeah, we're probably looking at that.
So we would have to, I think that in terms of bringing it in-house, we have to take that out and have them study it out and bring us a comprehensive list of everything that it would, all the different pieces all added up. And then we can compare that.
And
But
then
we
you need a
can't- we don't-
supervisor and then you
And we don't know that today.
Yeah, well,
So for today, we're just gonna look at
we're gonna
This-
spend money.
700,000.
Tiny homes.
The big
Oh,
concern-
that is,
So
They make the list, right? Yeah, go ahead.
So the big concern of tiny homes is number one, making sure somebody operates a community center and nothing happens, because community center is supposed to be open for them, so we have somebody to open it.
Yeah.
To basically observe and report and make sure nothing's going on, but they're also one that, if all of a sudden that on the weekend, they notice somebody's not, they're normally up by 9. All of a sudden it's 10:30, 11, nobody's seen things, they will actually knock on the door and make sure people are okay, and they do checks, make sure people are okay. It is an observe and report position, because it's only them. If somebody's acting up, they're getting out of control, call the police, because it could literally be, there's 10 times, it could be 10 on 1. So if something bad's happening, call the police, don't try to handle it yourself.
Yeah.
But isn't there cameras out there that somebody, or the cameras don't go into the 911 center or sheriff's office?
Cameras go to 911 center, but they're busy with dispatching, so they'll, so you take like Bob Ryan, he'll look it up for like, hey, this happened, they can look it up, but they're.
That's after the fact.
Yeah, they're
You
not
may
gonna
not
know,
notice
yeah, they don't have
it
anybody
happening in real time.
watching it 24/7.
Do we have a motion in a second?
I do.
For S&T, yes, we do.
I wouldn't have started talking if he hadn't motioned it. So
Oh.
I-
The rules of.
Trying to go by the rules.
Yes, and I appreciate that.
Okay.
I just couldn't remember. Okay, any other questions or discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and vote on the S&T to accept their, to approve the contract.
Kennedy,
Yes.
McCarty, Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Well,
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you
And
very
so
much.
we'll look forward to maybe.
That's what I'm here for. I think town has some rooms. For us, if you wanted information, but I don't think it would be saving us any money. I think.
Right. And I think Action provides that.
I think actually does.
They know.
Actually, he has his own private side, besides being the
Okay.
sheriff down there. He has a partner that's in the, with the Action Associates that provides security on that side.
Okay, so you should have their own.
Yeah, so what I think that. On Action security system, not the county.
But thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, Dan, thank you. All right, building services. Thank you, Jim. Hi, good morning.
First thing on the agenda, seeking approval to award bid reference OT-Gov -010-26 for the Otsego County Courthouse West Gutter Collection Box and ice cable replacement to Polar Roofing Company Incorporated as the low bidder for an amount not to exceed $102,450. Funding from courthouse renovations, A 1620 525,000.
So move.
Questions or discussion on the West Gutter collection box and ice cable replacement? Okay, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
And next is a transfer, budget transfer for that. We'll transfer funds from 242 renovations, A 1622.52,000 to courthouse renovations, A 1620.525,000 in the amount of $18,053. Need to supplement the budgeted funds for the bid OT-Gov -0-10-26 for the gutters.
So moved.
Okay.
Questions or discussion on the transfer? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta, absent, Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Next request for the award bid reference OT-Gov -012-26 for the Meadows Well Rehabilitation Project to Subsurface Technologies as the low bidder for an amount not to exceed $47,375. Funding from A 1630.525,000 Meadows renovations.
Do we have a motion?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? There's an ant on the floor. I don't wanna just gaff it.
Easy guy to tell.
Apparently there's gonna be a fee every year to clean this thing, right?
Wow. That's a separate bid.
Yeah, but it's ongoing.
Okay, we'll vote on the the well rehab. So yeah, your question is as to like, we're doing this big rehab. How are we gonna keep it in order going forward? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, a quote could be as much as 11,600 a year, quote from last year.
Okay,
With an installation of the,
once it gets put in.
yeah, per night. One time fee.
All right, Are we ready to vote on to award the bid? Go to a vote.
Kennedy, McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta absent, Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes. All right, thanks, Tim.
That's all I have.
Okay. Appreciate it.
You just gotta tell.
So, Tim,
Should much quicker.
there's an ant around there on the floor. I don't know. Doing it.
Now we need,
I
now we need the pest control.
Yeah, let's go.
didn't wanna,
Cameras doing that.
I didn't wanna be the one. Okay,
How's your wedding?
Great.
He is coming back here.
Got one nice weekend. Thanks.
okay.
Flags are fine.
That's nice.
No, somebody puts
All
some.
right, Steve, County Administrator's Office, agenda.
Yeah.
So, do we know Steve gonna be presenting this?
He's on it.
And Steve, Steve, can you hear us, Steve?
Excuse me. Hi, I'm here.
Okay, we've
Um,
reached your agenda.
and I have no idea what it is. I'm sorry. I think, is Alan there?
So it's Dave here.
Oh, okay, Dave.
Okay.
I didn't know who would be presenting. Sorry.
Okay, so we have to this in our agenda, the grant award of the American 250. We received 27 applications, we granted to 19 businesses, and there is, it's for a total of 426. So the grant is for 15,000, the 426, we are planning to take it from the historian budget. We are going to move it from M&S to events. If all of you are okay with stuff.
Thank you for presenting that, Day. So we have the America 250 grant applications in the packet, and do we have a motion to approve as listed?
So we,
In a second? Okay, and so we'll do the award, and then Carol, do we need to do a motion to change that 400?
No, Steve can.
Steve can do that on his own.
Or Ed.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, any questions on the list? Do we have a motion?
Is anybody not approved, or people?
there's some, it looks like just to submit.
Yeah. Dave, you know why some just have a check mark by them, they're not an amount?
I think some of them might have got them in late.
And also some of them want to deal with their revenue. Oh. Some of the other things.
Okay.
Take your list.
Yeah, but let's not, one of the results by the scope of the grant.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. So any questions on that? See, where should anyone who has questions on the grant applications, where should they go to find the answer to a question?
Ask Day, and we will follow up to find the answer. My problem is I can't see the form, so I can't tell exactly what your questions are, but they can walk me through those kind of
Okay.
a little bit offline.
Okay. All right,
There we go.
so do we have any questions? Any discussion? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta absent, Powers.
Okay, so that motion passes. And the 400,
Second on our agenda is that, a few months ago, we hired the Beacon Group to do a revenue cycle study in 3 of our departments. Services, Department of Health, and Inland. Here is Andrea to present us the items.
thank you, welcome to our meeting.
Good morning.
Thank you.
How are you?
Great.
We have the slicker today?
We do.
All right.
What's this left of my?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I was like, this seems really familiar.
Yes, exactly. So, yes, as Dave mentioned, I was brought in, Beacon Solutions Group. We are a subsidiary of the Bonadeo Group, which is a large accounting firm in New York State. Beacon, we do all things that are revenue cycle related. So Steve brought us in, to look at the 3 different programs. And we'll go through what our findings were of those and what our recommendations are. But I do just want to start with what is revenue cycle, just so that we know that we're all on the same page and some folks may not be familiar with everything and be talking about. So revenue cycle management is really, it's that financial process of managing a patient encounter from the time somebody calls to make an appointment to come in to be seen until that care is delivered and the claims get billed and that account gets paid to a zero balance. So when you think about like when you go to see a doctor, this is, imagine these are all of the different processes. So there's 4 different phases of this. The first happens before you even come in to be seen, and it is with payer credentialing and provider enrollment. So it's whatever medical provider saying, all right, I'm going to reach out to this particular insurance company, and I want to have a contract with them, and I want to have an agreement so that I know what they're going to pay me for each individual service. They get enrolled with that. But then they also need to enroll each of their clinicians or providers, physicians, whatever it happens to be, with that insurance company. If the insurance company does not enroll those providers, then you're not going to get paid, even if you have a contract. So those 2 things are really important as the beginning part of the revenue cycle. The next piece now, when you envision yourself going to the doctor's office, it's what's happening when you walk in, the front end processes with the registration. It's getting the insurance information, confirming your demographics, doing the scheduling, getting prior authorizations if any of those are necessary. You now make your way a little bit farther along in that cycle, and now we're in the middle of that revenue cycle. And that's where you're seeing the providers and your care is being delivered. And they're doing the documentation and the coding and everything that's necessary to say, hey, these are the services and the reasons why we provided them. From there, it makes its way to the back office, to that billing team. And they're taking all of that documentation, coding information, the prior authorization information, the insurance information that happened earlier in the cycle, and they're turning all of that into a claim that gets submitted to an insurance company, and hopefully the insurance company will pay that claim the first time around, and maybe not, which is more often what happens. And then that back office team working the denials and going through all of the efforts that they need to in order to get that claim paid to the fullest possible. So goals really are be as efficient as you can and collect as much money as you are entitled to.
Bottom line.
Absolutely. Use the technology that's available to you. Work your denials, post your payments accurately, and really also improve your patient experience. Ask the right questions at the right time so that you're not badgering them down the line for information afterwards or trying to collect on monies that are really untimely at this point. The other, of course, is compliance, making sure that everything that you're doing is meeting all of the regulatory requirements. 3 different types of revenue cycle management. In-house, where your employed team, they handle the entire process, everything from that patient or the contracting with the insurances all the way through the back end. You can also consider third-party vendors or contractors. And they can do pieces and parts of the revenue cycle. When you think about your EMS, that's the process that you have set up with them. You are using a hybrid, I'm jumping ahead, a hybrid approach here, where you have your EMS team doing some of those services, but then you have QuickMed doing the back office billing functions for you. So 3 different ways that you can approach managing your revenue cycle. So again, we were brought into those three different programs, community services, public health, and EMS. And we really were looking for the good, the bad, and the ugly. What is working well? Where are there opportunities to improve the overall revenue cycle process? We did our analysis back in late 2025 when we issued our reports just this year in February and March. So high level summary, health department. It's a small program. You have about 500 annual claims. And we didn't really see any opportunity for finding lost revenue or revenue that you had budgeted that was out there ready for the taking. There's some small opportunities to do some redesign of processes, making sure that there's cross training so that when your biller goes out, that somebody can function in that position. We did identify, and this affects all three different programs. There are some instances where the payers, partly because they're payers and the way that they're set up, but perhaps also in the way that the different programs have been enrolled with those payers, that there's commingled remittances and commingled EFTs. So the money coming in to a bank account maybe belongs to all three of the programs. So there's a bit of, finagling that has to happen and the moving of the money and the finding of the remittances, and that is cumbersome. And so I would say something that would help to streamline all three departments is to say, can we fix that? Can that be looked at and get those resolved? There's some compliance opportunities as well. Nothing that, screams out that if OIG comes in, they're going to come at you. So, but a few opportunities there. Any questions about the public health? It's pretty straightforward. Okay, we'll move on to the EMS program. So as I mentioned, you have a contract with Quick Med Claims to do a lot of that back office, the billing functions for you. What we really saw there was there's an opportunity for improved, I would say, collaboration and communication between EMS and Quick Med, and the opportunity to perhaps push Quick Med to do a little bit more on your behalf, and to make sure though that everyone understands what the contract says that they are responsible for, and then reconsider, are there things different that maybe the county needs Quick Med to do, change their processes a little bit in order to make sure that you're getting the biggest return on all of those monies that you are entitled to. I will say that it was clear that there was some lackluster revenue cycle processes that they had. They were difficult. They did not communicate after several attempts with me reaching out to ask for clarification on how they do things, their processes. They never responded. And it seemed as though that was something that Robert and Kim had identified as well. They were slow to respond. I understand you do have a consultant now working with EMS, and they are helping to improve that dialogue and the expectations. So I think good things can happen, but it's a work in progress at this point. We did identify opportunities for unrealized revenue. So when we look at the total accounts receivable, the AR that was greater than 90 days old, that represented about 54% of the total AR. Network or industry benchmarking says that percentage of aging greater than 90 days should only be 25%. Now, again, digging in a little bit deeper with this AR, a lot of this, or $264,000 worth, were for dates of service that are really very old, 2021 through 2024. You're not going to get paid for those claims. They should have been written off. The balances should have been adjusted off. Perhaps they already were in the general ledger that, the accountants could have said, yeah, we're never going to get this, get rid of it. But it's still in the system as being out there as collectible money. This also would make it more difficult for your billing service to be able to identify what claims should we really be following up on when we have all of these extra claims sitting out there. It's hard to weed through the detail. So I will also note that during some of the reports that I looked at from September through November, almost $278,000 had been written off. My assumption is that these will continue to get written off. But when EMS and QuickMed, when they identify there's some claims that we're just simply not going to get paid on, they should move forward and get those adjusted off the books.
So my question is, when you're greater than 90 days, accounts receivable is 54%. That seems really high. So
It's twice the industry
Are we-
benchmark.
Anna, talk about how to reduce that. Is that part of what comes next?
That is the relationship with QuickMed. They need to work
So
on
we
it.
talked about it before. You queued it up for us.
Yes, so
Wow.
getting
Okay.
rid of the old stuff. I know that QuickMed, per your contract with them, it says that they will submit a claim or they'll make a phone call, they'll do follow-up 3 times, and then that's the end of it. Without having had an opportunity to discuss any of this with them, I can't really speak to, are they actually making the phone calls that are required, or are they just resubmitting the claim and hoping that it's going to get paid? There's more
So
work
you're-
than just claim
You're
submission.
saying they didn't respond to that question.
They did not respond to any of my about 25 questions and requests for a meeting or data. There's a question in the back.
Is this standard operating procedures for all vendors? Should they be looking at a different vendor contract or? And also my other question was, is there a point at which there is no appeal process if they haven't billed or, like I know with community services that there's an appeal process through. So is there something like that available?
Sure. So first question was, is there other vendors or what's the
Yeah, is that a
contract?
standard operating procedure that they might just submit it 3 times, or maybe they're not good at getting back because they only have to submit it 3 times, they're done, they've fulfilled the contractual obligations. Is that standard, or is there some other type of contracts that are out there that might be better suited for county?
Sure. So each billing there's no standard protocol on how any particular billing service is going to do the work that they are doing or what's in their contract. So I would say, I know that, I believe there's a contract renewal that will be coming up soon, an RFP will be going out, so I would encourage the county to really look closely. And maybe, if you want to, I'd be happy to look at the contracts for you that are being presented to say, here's areas where you got a big gray area that who knows what's going to actually happen. I know that like contracts that we issue, we will submit claims with so many times a week. We will follow up on a denied claim within 3 days. We will post pay very specific timeframes. This particular contract doesn't have that. Again, every service vendor is different.
So we drafted that with the initial contract, but we put it out how we were gonna handle those policies. And this review is to point out problems with those processes that we could, before we put out another contract, RFP, we're gonna adjust some of this.
Absolutely.
That was the question, but that's really what today is. Learn what we've done good, what we haven't done good, what QuickMeds is doing for us, and not how we can improve it.
And right now.
That is one that's we've been pointing at for a while that we've had the trouble with.
Yes.
Following that number.
And right now, I will say what QuickMed is doing in terms of how quickly they are getting your coding done and getting those claims submitted, they're on top of it. They're doing a great job in getting your initial claims out the door. It's what's happened over the years of the accounts that didn't get paid the first time around. That there's that opportunity. But I would also say what's going well is your internal team. They're doing a great job. The communication with them is very, very good, extraordinary.
That's it.
Yes, absolutely. Then another piece from identified opportunities, and credit balances are often overlooked because you want to bring in the money, right? And you don't want to worry about giving back money. But providers are obligated through Medicaid and Medicare and all of the payers as well. If you identify that you have been overpaid, you have a limited window of time to refund that money. So when we look at the number of credit balances in, you can see between the 2 months, you had about 8% of your AR would have been represented in credit balances. Industry benchmark is 2%. So you had, about $85,000 worth of credits that are out there. that really should be looked at and identified. It could have been a posting error. Most of these are not actual money that is due to somebody. It's the way the ledger was handled at the time of posting the payments. And then just develop some revenue cycle processes, work on some KPIs, identify with your consultant those key performance indicators that you want to track and monitor going forward so that you can keep your eye on whatever vendor you happen to use that is doing this back office function. But you should also have KPIs that focus on the front end. What is your internal team doing? The front end stuff. How fast are they, if they need to reach out and try to get an insurance from a patient? How long is it taking them to be able to do that, to get the information to QuickMed for them to do their job? So it's a full cycle you should look at. Yes.
I had somebody call me. They were transported and the insurance company didn't pay the county quick enough, so they got a bill from the county and these people paid that bill. But they haven't received back the money from the county that the insurance company paid to the county. How long should that take?
Well, that's some of those credit balances that are out there.
That's what I,
So
it just hit me that I thought that, and I'm just, is there a time frame that
60
we should be
days.
paying that? 60 days?
60 days.
Then what happens in 60 days if you don't get it back from the county?
You end up accruing another $80,000 because the same performance happened.
Okay.
Nothing happens to the county
Right, but they,
unless a big, one of the big O's came in and they did an audit. They'd say, hey, you are not meeting our regulations.
And the people could keep calling. Who would they call in that case? Would it be QuickMed or would it be county? Like who would be in charge of that specific issuing the credits?
That should be on us.
Yeah, that'd be a county thing.
That's on us. Right there. Whoever that is should tell them right.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't have time for phone calls like that. They're busy.
Yeah, but it's really been an incredible amount of analysis that you've done, so.
Well, just wait till we
We're
get to the
not
next
even
section.
finished
Just the
yet.
beginning.
We still have another whole department to go.
So,
Yeah.
long story short, opportunities to, I think, as you go forward, work with this vendor or a new vendor to really have better processes. I think you will recognize and realize more of that revenue that you may have budgeted for. Okay, community services, they're the big one. About 12,000 annual visits. That was down from about 19,500 in 2024. That was an intentional reduction on the part of the program directors. They knew that they were going to be implementing a new EHR and billing system, the Oracle system. And they knew, they had the foresight to understand that it was going to be painful because they always are painful. So to reduce stress and to reduce chaos, they limited those visits intentionally. As it states, it was painful. Your struggles continue to exist from that Oracle implementation. And we identified significant opportunities within all of the processes to see some additional revenue. So payer enrollment and credentialing, we talked about that earlier. That's at first stage in the process. When I was there was a considerable backlog of enrolling providers. If the providers aren't enrolled, they can render the service, but you're not going to get paid for those services, no matter what. Payers have certain timelines in which they will do that enrollment and how far back they will backdate an application. On the front end side, or in payer contracting, your contracts had not been renegotiated or reviewed from a rate perspective with many of your payers in many years. So there's an opportunity. A lot of your services are Medicaid-based or Medicare-based. You can't mess around with your reimbursement. But there are some of your commercial insurances that you could perhaps have higher reimbursement rates. From a front end process, it really requires a radical shift in how tasks are done and who they're done by. But best practice says that verification of insurance should be handled at the front desk. So that's not happening. That is best practice. You need to have scanners available so insurance cards can get scanned into the electronic medical record as well. There's not been a culture of collecting private pay payments that are due, particularly at the time of service. When you walk into your doctor's office, I'm pretty sure you are asked to make your co-payment and to make your payment. And that if you get billed, then they threaten you with we will send you there'll be a statement fee that gets added onto that. So there's not a focus on collecting payments at the time of service at the program here. So there's opportunities there. The outstanding private pay balances were about $111,000, with 99,000 of that being greater than 90 days. So 89% of your self-pay was greater than 90 days old. Industry benchmarks say that 75% of all unpaid balances, unpaid at the time of service, they will go uncollected. Okay. And it goes down. So if you look at the percentage of collections, 0 to 90 days, you have about a 90% chance of getting that patient payment made. Between days 90 and 180, it drops to 50%. And thereafter, anything over 6 months, it's a 10% likelihood of getting reimbursed from or paid from a patient. Then we move into the back office. Numerous opportunities there with Oracle and the programming and the use of the technology that's within Oracle, but also with Inovalon, which is the clearinghouse. And a clearinghouse is the conduit between here is your billing system and here is the insurance company. Somehow or another, you've got to get the billing system information to the insurance company. And that's what a clearinghouse does. They take all of that electronic data, they gather it in, they do their thing, and they ship it off to the insurance company. When the insurance company is ready to make an adjudication to say, yeah, we'll pay it, or no, we're not going to, it comes back into the clearinghouse. So there's communication between your billing system and your clearinghouse that you have opportunities for improvement there as well. Your claim submission, industry best practice says you should be submitting your claims at least weekly. We say at least twice a week for a program your size. Right now, the program is submitting claims on a monthly basis. When we were there in December, claims from September and October had not yet been submitted. So even though now you're only submitting once a month, you're also several months behind in that cycle. Most payers have a 90-day submission. If your claim isn't submitted within 90 days, it's timely filing and they're not going to consider it. Payment posting, also industry benchmark says your payment should be posted within 3 to 5 days of that money coming into the facility. Again, in December, none of the November payments had been posted yet. They're also doing manual posting. So that means most of the payments that are coming in for those 12,000 or so visits, somebody is typing that information into the billing system, where there is the technology to be able to take that electronic data, populate it into the EHR, and it will post automatically, thereby eliminating, probably 30 hours of a 40-hour-a-week duty, where that person can be deployed to do something more valuable, like chasing after the private pay money and chasing after denials. So it's shifting and using your FTE, your human capital better and wiser. Inadequate segregation of duties as well. And I forgot it, that was on one of the other programs as well, where because it's a small program, you had your business office manager basically doing everything, posting the payments, making the deposit, actually taking the deposit to the bank. So looking at ways to make sure that you have an appropriate segregation of duties and multiple eyes for oversight of your financial situation. Okay, AR. So just like we saw before, there's a lot of money that's available.
So the total AR was about $1 million, about 857,000 of that is greater than 90 days. So that's 83% of the AR. And again, your industry benchmark should be at 25%. This slide was provided by Alan and I'm not sure even who, somebody from administration put this together. They wanted to make sure that you saw what the revenues were for this particular program over time. And when you look at this, it shows like the actual in 2025 compared to what was budgeted. It's about $1 million or so. And when we just looked at 850 something thousand is sitting in your insurance that's greater than 90 days, and you had almost 90,000 on the self-pay that was on a previous slide. So that money should have been and could have been collected. It's there, you rendered those services. It's just sitting unpaid at this point.
Andrea, this is Steve. Jump in with a comment about that slide.
Please.
If you look at 2022, you will see that both the adopted and revised budgets were the same for revenues, but we received more than that. That is the typical pattern for community service departments in New York State. They always generate a surplus that they, quote, give back to the county. But obviously, since in subsequent years, and it's been getting worse, we've been struggling with that for a variety of reasons. Thank you.
Thank you. Last couple of items, performance metrics really need to find a way, look at what you want to monitor, work on ways to make those improvements happen, and then celebrate the successes when you are able to get your days in AR down to the target number, any of the different metrics that you happen to select. And then also from a compliance perspective, there's some compliance opportunities as well. Again, nothing that just screams, oh my gosh, I'm worried. You're not there, but there are things that really should be implemented that Alan and Steve are very aware of. So what's the overall recommendation? Given the scope and the depth of the various opportunities, I will say, and with the support of having spoken with Jeanette and understanding the staffing and this changeover within that department, I think you should consider using some third-party vendors or experts in specific areas to either temporarily or on a long-term basis help you deal with some of these issues. From the payer enrollment and credentialing piece, you can engage a third-party expert to help to clean up that current backlog and at least get you on the right footing going forward. They could train the current managers and help to give them the tools that they need so that they could do all of this payer credentialing and provider credentialing independently on their own. Or you could say, you know what, we're just going to get rid of this altogether and have a third-party vendor that handles that for you. Looking at all of the AR that's out there, consider a cash recovery project where a third-party vendor will look at, they will take that $900,000 or whatever it is that's greater than 90 days and say, we will collect as much as we possibly can. We'll identify what is preventing the claims from maybe being submitted so that then those can get corrected, the claims can get submitted. There would be payer appeals that could be filed, but each individual claim has to be looked at, and you have to understand the reasons for that denial to begin with before you can file mass appeals with the payers. Most of the payers are more than happy to consider a large appeal. They recognize there's limitations and things happen. But they will typically only go back 1 year from the time you're filing an appeal. So if you're able to get an appeal file, let's say by August, you're really looking at claims from July through July of or August of 2025. So a lot of this old AR may be outside the window of collectability. But it's worth a try, right? And then also as part of that process, just writing off what shouldn't be there. Because if you have your in-house team trying to do all of your AR management or even a third-party vendor, again, with that much money sitting out there, to find the claims that you need to be following up on and making sure that those are being handled, they're hard to find when you have $800,000 worth out there blocking, just putting up a shield. Next opportunities for using third-party vendor would be like you did with Quick Med Claims and EMS. Choose a vendor that can then handle either all or some of the back office functions. Typical functions would be your claim submission, your private pay statements and collections. So those payments that don't get made at the time of service, the follow-up that happens on those, posting your payments, dealing with denials, and bringing in the money. With that, you would need to look at redeployment. There's a couple of FTEs that are there now. Any vendor that you use, they're going to need at least a half-time person, probably closer to a 1 FTE, to be the liaison between the program and the billing company, and all of the changes that a billing service is going to want to encourage you to make to streamline all of these processes. Because you can outsource it you can use a third-party contractor. Anybody, they could be the best in the world. But if your upfront processes are still broken, you're just passing the nightmare on to somebody else. The other option is all of those other back office functions, but keep your payment posting in-house. Use one of the staff members that now would be up for redeployment to just posting the payments and getting that current. And even with, it will take time to go from a manual process to an electronic process. But even thereafter, you would need probably close to up to almost one person to do your payment posting. And that's me. And you can reach out and yell at me or ask me questions anytime you want to after this meeting. Does anyone have any questions?
This is Steve. I'd like to add some comments after the questions.
Well, we're just absorbing all of this. I think, does anyone have any questions right now, or are we?
I just don't know how to implement all this legally.
I know.
We point the finger and say, okay, you do that.
We have a lot of, I think it would be helpful to look at it from within the 3 different buckets.
Who's Epic? Every time I get something from a doctor, who's Epic about it?
Epic is a big health system providers EMR and billing system. Bassett, the University of Rochester, Albany Med, the hospital system use that system. It's your Oracle. Oracle's a little version of Epic.
But personally, we're getting bills from Bassett that haven't been claimed to the insurance company. Now, whose fault's that? I mean, it's like I have health insurance. I shouldn't be getting billed, but I'll go for something and it won't get a bill, but I'll go for something else, I'll get a bill for it. So, and then you call down there, well, apparently they didn't bill the insurance company. So which is it? Is it Orpa or whatever it is, or Bassett, or somebody's not pushing the right code?
Typically, it's a front end issue that the insurance didn't get attached to that particular patient encounter. Or it got attached, but the insurance, there's a typographical error, so it couldn't find you as a subscriber. It tried to submit the claim, but the health insurance says, I don't know who this person is. I don't have this claim number. That date of birth means nothing to me. Boom. And they reject it. It doesn't even get in the door to the insurance company.
So when you go register in a hospital, first thing they ask you what your date of birth is.
Yes.
So that ought to go right straight through somewhere.
So that's the part where you say when there should be somebody who's looking at those denials. Like that, if it bounces back and the insurance company says, we don't recognize this claim, somebody should be there to say,
Yes,
here's this number, this is the date it happened.
yes,
We can back it up for our patient. We are gonna put it in there.
yes,
I know with Bassett, that hardly ever happens,
yes.
but
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely. And those
if-
rejections, like you submit your claims and with typically the next day, maybe 2 days later, all of the rejection files are coming back to you. So then you should have and someone who works each of those rejections and figures out what the problem
why
is.
it was rejected.
Typically, it's a typographical error
So,
or insurance verification where they don't really have the insurance that was presented. So I can come to you as a provider, give you an insurance card, but if you don't actually validate and go into the insurance company portal to find out if I'm full of nonsense, you're just gonna bill that insurance company.
right, and that happened. Well, when I presented my health insurance and I had a new card and an old card, when I sent the old card, they were like, oh, this isn't any good. And I was like, oh, no. Then I found the new card and I gave them that. So somebody has to be doing that work
Absolutely.
at the front end.
That's the front desk. Make sure you have the
So-
right insurance before you even see the patient. And then when they're there in front of you, you can have the conversation like, hey, I see your insurance isn't what you have presented. And hopefully that insurance verification happens before they even come into the office. So that you're keyed up to know you have to have that conversation.
So we have a lot of like really kind of just putting some new systems in place.
Yes.
Putting new procedures in place, maybe reshuffling the way people work. And our whole process on some of the things, like getting payments at the door rather
Yes.
than doing billing. So those are really, just there's a lot of.
There's a lot.
So Steve had a question. Steve, let's go to you.
Thank you.
Oh, wait, sorry. Oh, wait, could you wait for a minute, Steve?
I will.
Ed had something? Penny?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just wanted to let you know that, Jeanette met with me and with, our employee and labor relations specialist to look at the various jobs. I sent her, I think, 8, different job, titles and, respective, job specifications for the positions to see, which ones, are doing what and which are vacant but should be filled, just a lot of that right now. So, in discussing with Jeanette, and please jump in, my understanding was that she's reviewing them now, but, it certainly seems like some type of hybrid approach would be appropriate. I think like the credentialing is not a title that is exclusively owned by the union, so that could be vendored out, although to me, it doesn't seem like it's something that would be difficult to do. It's just another duty we would have to create possibly a position or add it as a duty to one of the positions we have, but it doesn't require any type of certifications, or it's not a regulated type of a position. But other positions, we would have to do impact bargaining. So when we talk about deploying people, we're really talking about the potential of having them not be able to continue working within that particular department, whether or not we can find them somewhere else. That's often associated with like a layoff, which I know they're trying not to do. But we would have to talk about whether or not the union under the Taylor law would be agreeable to signing some sort of an agreement with the community services department. That's not unheard of. It's just that you can't move forward without involving the union because there's impact bargaining that's required. And there's also agreements that need to be made because of the union exclusivity of these titles and the type of work. So if we wanted to come up with a different title, they look at the duties. So they won't play that game. We won't play the game with PERB, which is the Public Employment Relations Board. If we don't work with the union, we will get smacked with an improper practice charge, which the county does not want to have happen. So what we really need to do is to review which processes may be done in-house, where we need to work with vendors on the to get us back on track. Getting us back on track it would not be taking away jobs from anyone. It would really just be really relieving a lot of the union memberships right now who are struggling in doing positions. People may or may not be able to do the jobs that they're in. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be looked at right now, but we're working on reviewing all of this. So that's a big part of this whole process, is looking and focusing on those particular areas.
Thank you, Penny. And Jeanette?
So, since Andrea shared her recommendations with us, I've had several conversations and calls with her and what we can do, and also working with Penny. Again, she sent me those job descriptions and how Andrea said, like, our front desk people should be doing ABC, which they're not. It was never part of their job. So I'm rewriting those job descriptions with those duties in there, so Penny can see if that's something that we can use or where that's gonna go. The insurance contracts for like our commercial pays, all that stuff. So yeah, those have been outdated for 10+ years, some 7 years, stuff like that. So this is my compliance officer, John. I've asked him to look at the contracts to see if he's somebody, and I believe he's done it in his past, before he came to our department, where he can negotiate with the insurance companies. So that's something he's looking at now. I just gave him one of the contracts this week. Thought that was gonna be a whole position as well. I've talked to legal about that, and how much they need to be involved at Dell, and all of that stuff. So we definitely want to move forward. We know our system is very difficult. I've been in touch with Oracle because we've had a lot of issues from the get-go with them. And just so you know, we had a call with them, I think it was last week. But for us to get any more type of off of normal support, like a support line where we submit a ticket, if we need something very specific, we have to do a contract with them for, they call them SSC hours, and it's $213 an hour. But they won't even work with us right now with that, because we're still working on the contract we're trying to update with them. So right now it's pretty much just the person I have that's billing, trying to figure it out. And I also want, none of our billers, I have one right now, but even the one before who was there for we've never been trained by an expert. None of them been certified. It was kind of, you are taught, and if you were taught incorrectly, you taught the next person incorrectly. And how she's talking about remittance, we have piles and piles that people are going through and hand logging all of those things in. And so when you see a denial, it could have been a denial from last summer. We're out of time to go back and try to fight it.
So it seems like the first thing to do, and you're already doing it, is to make a roadmap into doing everything in a way that will make a smoother process and use people most effectively, and make the claims and really represent the people who need to have their claims be resubmitted, and all of it. There's so much here. I'm glad that you've already had it for a little bit to digest and tell us that you're already working with the different departments and all the different pieces, how it all goes together. And I think that's going to give us as a board some comfort to know that it's being worked on. And Andrea, we will thank you for your report. It was a hard swallow, I think, but it's a lot. And thanks, Jeanette, for having that response to be able to tell us this morning that you've been working on it and we're putting a plan in place. So.
Okay, and if anybody has questions, please reach out to me. I have no problem. If I don't know the answer, I'll get it up. We are trying to definitely make it a better process and more efficient for her.
Just a lot there. Okay. Steve, we'll go to you.
So, couple of points.
This camera.
You need your camera on, Steve.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right, camera.
There we go. You had it. Okay.
There we are. Sorry. Okay, couple of points. First off, what we are talking about here is increasing revenues, not really cost savings. Okay? And I think that is most appropriate for this and basically everything that has to do with revenue cycle management. I think, if I'm remembering the reports correctly, annually we are losing or not getting about $2 million that we could get. If we outsource this or not outsource it, but get a contract, right? I think roughly speaking, we're talking an annual cost of maybe 750,000, maybe as much as $1 million. So that would be a net increase in revenues to us of $1 million, which is better than where we are now. The second point, exactly what Jeanette and Penny were saying about the union conversations, reviews, and stuff like that. Even if we identify some, I'll use quotation marks, administrative people who are doing billing work, and that goes to, say, the contractor support, I believe there is more than enough administrative work that could dramatically, or at least could improve the overall administrative performance of this department. I'm talking about the regular processing of contracts, purchase orders. The other side of the house, which is not clinics, has a cumbersome process in which the state picks contractors or providers that they want, and we have to manage it. And it is a somewhat cumbersome process that we sometimes have struggled with. So we could easily do a lot of work, and I don't think we're going to be anywhere close to having to like lay people off or attrit folks out, at least in the near future. So I think that is an important piece. I also think the troubles we are having with Oracle will be smoothed out if we have available to us a cadre of people who are experts at billing revenue cycle in a way that perhaps we aren't. And finally, the last thing is the scale. This is the biggest of all three departments. Scale makes things more difficult, and we've struggled with this for a while. So I think this might be a step forward. I hope that those comments were helpful.
Okay. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Andrew. Okay. All right. That's a lot more to come. So, thank you. All right.
So will I see you again next week? Andrea?
I know. Okay. Is that your second time through? Yeah. So maybe
I want to know if there's going to be a third time.
No, the show's over.
the Andrea show is now.
Yeah, I go 3 times now.
Okay.
I'm done.
Well,
Unless
thank
you need
you.
me back or something.
Okay. So we're going to move on in our agenda to Otsego now. Carol, see that you're here. Come on up. Oh, any, you can sit. Yeah, wherever you like.
How you guys doing?
Good, thank you.
So I'm here to pretty much ask the county to be my ancestry. I've been applying for a state CR CDBG grant. We want to do an energy study in rail yards, which will let us know how much power we have, what upgrades will be like, and then what we'd like to upgrade power throughout, the city. So that is gonna be run by Capital Energy Partners. The whole study is gonna be about 18 months and it's gonna cost $90,000. So that's what I'm gonna ask for in grant application. And the only thing I'll essentially be like a liaison between the two. But for said grant, we do need municipalities. So that's why I'm here.
And we talked about this in IDA earlier in the month. And the IDA committee approved of us making it expenditure. We don't, we just sponsor you.
So it'll like come to you, but you just.
Oh, right, we are the pass through, yeah.
A motion that we.
Right. We have a second too. Okay, any further discussion? Any questions? Cheryl? So it's been a long standing conversation about how much energy, getting energy.
Yeah, and I've been meeting with some consultants, and once I have those final numbers, once we bring them the numbers and they can tell me who to kind of reach out to, try to bring direct county to jobs or retain jobs. And so it's just a stepping stone into the long game.
So when you say energy, we talk with electric or all forms of energy?
For this one, electric, but I'm also working on water, gas, just kind of where.
I would think where it's a former rail yard, there'd be plenty, but.
In a long time.
Yeah, I mean, so much has been taken out that I don't know.
Okay, something.
All right,
This is how we find out.
do you have any other questions? Before we go to a vote? Okay, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
I abstain, I was out. Sorry.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Martini. Marietta.
Yes.
Powers.
Okay.
Okay, that motion passes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl. And moving on. Planning, family,
Read the black grants.
file.
Hello.
Yay. We have two items today. The first is related to the annual cost share agreement that we create with the village of Cooperstown related to paying for the operation of the Cooperstown trolley. We had the resolution passed to award the operating contract to Leather Stocking Trolley Company. And so what we do now is we lay out the agreement with the village of Cooperstown to pay for it. What we do is we secure all the revenue we can, either through the advertising and the fare box, and then the state revenue that we get from the program. If we collect more revenue than we had for expenditures, the village can present to us eligible expenditures that they accrue as part of the agreement, and then we can give them the additional revenue to help offset their costs. If our revenues come up short, we don't get enough to cover our expenses, the village is responsible for making us whole. Basically, we break even either way. One change from previous years is there is a line in the scope for the agreement just to say that any revenue obtained from the sale of trolleys, once they are retired and disposed of, that revenue would go back into the trolley. So that is something that was not spelled out in previous agreements.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Any questions? Okay, hearing no questions, we will go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Okay. The next is resolution request regarding a fuel surcharge for Casella. Casella came to SWEC this month requesting a fuel surcharge for the price of diesel fuel. Their request was when diesel fuel exceeds $4.50 a gallon, the difference not to exceed $1.75 above that $4.50, we would pay to them per ton. So if it was,
if it was $5 a gallon, we pay 50 cents per ton additional for that month.
Per gallon.
Per gallon, no, per ton. Per ton, but for the per gallon rate. So, and that would not be any longer than a period of 6 months. And Casella would have to provide monthly reports detailing, their figures and where they got it from. And then we said, okay, what would it cost for 6 months if it hit the max, $1.75 above the $4.50 price? And we took kind of our, a combination of 2024 and 2025 tonnage, just because last year was kind of a weird year. And it was about $45,000 additional for the year if it was just that 6 months and if it was maxed out every month. So it wouldn't be any greater than that.
I'm with the motion. Sorry.
Any other questions?
Yeah, well, just to clarify, this isn't for them to go around and pick up people's garbage. This is the hauling
Oh,
from the transfer stations to, that's another hauler.
Yes,
taking-
those are the haulers. Yeah, they're the
Over
ones who
road
take it
haulers
out.
Are raising their rate like anywhere from 13 to 19% for the fuel charge. So this is money that is going towards that. I did put up a stink about this because over the years they've come in and raised fuel charges and it never seemed to like it went back down. It always, when the prices so that's why it came into the 6 month thing so we can keep track of it.
Right, and there's a couple of, anytime it goes above the $1.75 delta, they have to come in and say, hey, it's higher now, what do you wanna do? And we still have the option to say, well, we can either do anything, or we wanna take it into account and maybe give you more. But that would be another,
Well, I just didn't want it out there that the haulers are gonna get charged another $1.75 for bringing it in or taking out. It's to get it out of Otsego County more or less, so.
well, thank you, Representative McCarty. Any other questions or comments before we vote? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Yes.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini, Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, got it.
Those are our items for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Heidi. Good morning.
Hello. The first thing I have is a budget transfer, for the opioid settlement funds. So, moving, $133,511 from our opioid settlement line, 4010-427-350 to our DOH contract line, 4010-49,549,000, and that's to cover RFPs that have already gone out and so far.
So,
Second.
and I see that you have in the justification, the treasurer will do the journal entry to move the money once they get this transfer, so that will speak to like Alan's comment earlier that when opioid money is spent, then, so that's like his notification, we spent it, so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, that is the.
Okay,
Yes.
Adrian's saying yes.
Yes.
Okay,
It's the
perfect.
bill. Okay. All right, any other questions or discussion on this budget modification? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty.
Aye.
Wilbur.
Aye.
Martini.
Aye.
Marietta.
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Thank you. The next thing I have is to hire or pay our community health worker. It's a new position we just filled. I'd like to pay at a step 4, which would be a salary of $56,673. And she comes in to us with over 10 years experience, so.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on this? And Human Services Committee approved this already.
I need to, or Penny just approved this too, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been through the full process.
Yep.
Yes, there's Penny's signature right on there. Okay, we will go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Thank you. The next is to create, fund, and fill a senior public health educator position. And hire at a step 6. So right now I have a public health educator, so this would be a step up, promotion. And the person in this position just recently got her doctorate in public health.
So
Can I ask a question? She said step 6, but the paper says 4. I just want to
Oh,
make sure.
I'm sorry, I meant step 4.
Okay,
Okay.
Sorry.
that's okay.
So requested salary would be $70,098.
she's probably got long session.
Any other questions or discussions before we vote?
Do we have a motion in a second?
Did we have a motion? in a second?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought
Who motioned this one?
I did.
Oh, in a second,
I
was
did.
Jim? Okay. You were too busy noticing the step was different, which I didn't. We didn't notice. Okay, we will go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini, Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that passes.
Thank you. So the next is to unfund the public health educator position.
So move.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Yay.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Thank you. And then this is just kind of a FYI. I'm working with personnel to get all the approvals to create a temporary family services specialist or a early intervention service coordinator position, and that's to fill like a 2 to 3 month temporary prior to a retirement. So hopefully I'll have all that ready next month and bring it back. So I just wanted to let you know where I am with that.
Okay, good to know.
And then the last is approval to contract with Herkimer County Preschool Program for the time period of 7/1/26 through 6/30/27. The contract will not exceed $10,000. And this is, we're providing Herkimer County service, so they're paying us.
Great.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that motion passes.
Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Okay.
hang on.
Oh, wait.
Going back to the first point, the opioid money, I think we will need a resolution to move those funds from the opioid settlement account, general account, to the health department.
Oh, okay, so we need to do one first.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Motion to approve that.
Yes, I will second it.
Thank you, Deb. We'll get the money over there first.
Okay.
You're good with that, Carol? When you're ready, we'll vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini,
Aye.
Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Aye.
Okay, that one passes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, good.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Isaiah. It's
Hey, everyone.
Not quite on schedule. Not bad. Little late.
To the neighborhood.
So I have one motion request for the it's that'll be for security awareness training from B+. It's gonna come out of our software line, 546-400. The cost is actually $10,521.50, but I went a little high because the quote expires tomorrow. This security awareness training is replacing our VRCOM training, which was not good at all. So this is something that we're trying to improve for all of the county employees.
Salute.
any questions or discussion? That was hard, that other one. Okay,
We'll be able to target state users and state accounts and be able to kind of like personalize it more.
Good. Okay, we'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Aye.
McCarty,
Aye.
Wilbur,
Aye.
Martini, Marietta,
Yes.
Powers.
Okay, that passes.
The next item is just for your information. We are spending $4,103 on our NetMotion VPN software that allows us to laptops to work in the network. Do all the work at home.
Or is this
It's
just
just
a?
FYI.
Never mind.
Under the threshold.
I will move nothing.
Okay.
Cancel it.
And the last item, I don't know if anybody had a chance to review the packet that I sent you a couple days ago. This is for our Zoom WebEx licensing review. I'm looking to save roughly $4,000. It's in the packet. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna right size our Zoom licensing because we have services already that provide that video conferencing, the whiteboards, the messaging is through WebEx, something that our phone system that we already pay for. So like verbal approval if possible, because there may be some back from departments or from individuals who are used to using Zoom. Almost.
Second.
And just for the sake of conversation, WebEx is fairly Zoom-like in the
Yes.
whole way that it works.
Yes, Meg, it's come a long way. It has all the same, almost all the same features. It's pretty easy to use. You can set up meetings. You can use it for sharing screens, whiteboards, you can message back and forth.
All right. Anything else? You vote? We'll go to a vote.
Kennedy,
Pardon me?
We're voting unless you had, did you have?
That's just a verbal vote, right?
Oh, we don't have to do a roll call?
Just a verbal vote.
Okay, so, sorry. All those in favor? Say aye. Aye. Any opposed to that?
I hate them, so I'm not,
Okay, so yeah, sounds like you're, have our,
WebEx.
you know, our support.
Yeah.
Yeah, that conversation.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
That's all I have.
thanks, Isaiah.
Just a quick question though. Are these handouts helpful that I sent you or should
Yeah.
is it too much?
No. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Where we are. We're at the end of our agenda.
Yay.
Everybody got any news? You want to share or?
Well, I got questions for 3 or 4 of you individually, but you know this guy? I was told you know him. Nathaniel Quill? What's his name?
Brill.
We're still live. but-
Yeah.
Should we adjourn?
Yeah.
We'll adjourn.
I motion to
Okay,
adjourn.
we're adjourned. Thanks.